Ascension symptoms are happening in the body right now, and we're going to talk about why that is, and also what ascension symptoms are, because that might be quite surprising to you, how to navigate through them. That's very, very important information. So what's going on right now is the planet is hurtling towards ascension, and what I think most people don't understand is this word exponential. We are going exponentially faster. So most people are still measuring, well, 1 second is this long and 1 hour is that long, and there's only so much you can put into an hour. That's not true. As we evolve, more light is coming into time. We live in the false matrix, also known as the time matrix. Now what's happening is there's an influx of photonic light, cosmic light, is flooding into the planetary plane right now. That means it's flooding into your body's energy field. What comes into the planet's atmosphere comes into your direct atmosphere and into proximity with the body. Now this is all preordained, and no, that doesn't mean that your head understands this. This means your soul understands this and chose to participate in this journey. The participation in the ascension journey is the most exquisite but confusing upside down and inside out experience, and it is almost illogical. It almost defies what we know to be reality, because that's exactly what ascension is. It's unplugging you from the illusion that you called the real world. It's unplugging you from the false matrix and reconnecting you with the divine matrix. The divine matrix, somebody asked me that question in a recent video. They said, I've heard of the false matrix. What is this thing called the divine matrix? Well, that's organic creation. That is creation that belongs to God's source consciousness, not the hijacked matrix, because all that a matrix is a playground, right? And the rules of the false matrix were corrupted and held against humanity, where humanity was not going to be ascending. So we've got this intervention, this universal intervention in the form of flooding cosmic codes coming into the planet, causing tremendous personal and planetary upheaval, and this results in ascension symptoms. But I said to you in the beginning I was going to share with you what ascension symptoms are. And by the way, if you haven't heard me before, it's a great time to introduce myself. My name is Kerry K. I almost always get so excited to share the information with you that as I press record, I don't think about the details like who I am. But my name's Kerry K. Welcome to my channel. I'd love it if you would like this video, because it helps the algorithm to show other people that this is worth watching. The planetary ascension is the most exciting, thrilling journey that you can participate in, but you cannot participate in it as an onlooker or bystander. There's only seats for active participants, and everybody else gets to go. So if you're on the planet right now, that means you are an active participant in the ascension process. And I know here's another thing that a lot of people say to me in the comment section. They say, Kerry, impossible. Look at where humanity is. They're not ready for this. I know. I so get that they're not ready for this, but I also understand exponential growth. I understand what's taking place in 1 second right now could never possibly have taken place in 1 second 10 years ago, let alone 6 months ago. So we are on a second by second basis. We are speeding up, and that means we are able to process more truth in the body, more light in the body, because this is what you need to remember. Ascension takes place in the body. So many people are acting as if ascension takes place in consciousness, and I've said this before, that if that were the case, you could honest to goodness listen to one meditation on my website. Done deal. 5D, there we go. Over and out, mission complete. It's too easy. That is not where ascension takes place. It takes place in the hijacked vehicle of the body. And this is where a lot of people get very, very concerned when I talk about the body being a hijacked vehicle. But here's how it's a very plain, obvious, and simple truth. The planet that we're having this experience on, planet Earth, is hijacked. That means it was plucked from the organic matrix, from the creation template of God's source consciousness, plucked from there and inserted into this web of illusion, the false matrix. And when your body came along for that ride, your body became a hijacked vehicle, because whatever happens to the planet happens to the body. And what that means, the implication of that for you, is that the body then got overrun by entities, programs, overlays, inserts. This is all of the bombardment of the false matrix, all of the energetic bombardment that the false matrix was, that surrounded your body. Now within the body, there is a seed of pure light. We might think of this as the soul. We might think of this as the divine self. That seed of light that exists within the body is what enables you to animate and express through the body. But it got trapped. It got stuck in this continual reincarnation program with the body. So no, it's not enough that the body dies and then the soul is released. The soul stays in that so-called entrapment because the body consciousness keeps recycling into the false matrix program. It can't get out. This is what it means to be in a hijacked system. So many people say things like, I'm not coming back here. And at that point, I'm going, you are so... When people say to me, I'm done, it's my last life on planet Earth, I can't say that I would argue with them. I can't say that I would say, well, sorry for you, that's not the truth. I just go, man, you're in for a surprise, because that's not how it works. You don't get to decide, okay, I'm doing this, I'm out of here, because nothing actually happens at the brain level. Because do you know who the brain is? The brain is what you could think of as the lower self, the ego's mind, the ego self. You've got to journey into the true self. And I do mean it. That is a journey. It's the most exquisite journey you're ever gonna walk. That is homecoming. People say, I want to go home, I want to go home. Home is the journey to the true self. And when you operate from that home state, guess what happens? You don't want to leave. And do you know why? Because everywhere you are is home. And that's how you know you're there. Not that there's an external there to get, but that's how you know you've stepped into higher frequency for real, is when you can be in death, mayhem, despair, and darkness and go, I'm home. Not to say you'd be unaffected, not to say you'd be blind, but simply to say it wouldn't erode your peace. It would evoke your compassion. It would evoke so much within you, but it wouldn't erode. It would take nothing away from your connection to your divinity. Whereas living in the false matrix, when we see hardship or experience hardship, struggle, whatever it is, we become so entangled with the story, be it our own struggle and hardship or another's, that we, in a sense, abandon ship and we step out of our divinity into misery. That's how the false matrix was designed. So much was this trapping. It was an ensnaring, an entanglement, an enmeshment. That's what the false matrix was. Now, yes, it's being corroded. It is being broken down from the external, which is the universe itself. This is the helping hand. When people say to me, why aren't we being helped? You have no idea how much we're being supported, how much we're being assisted. Only once you've ascended, once you've gone through that process, are you then going to get to look back and be humbled at the level of support and assistance that surrounded you on a daily basis. It is so much bigger than you could ever imagine. And I know it feels like it's me against the wind, it's me against life. It's not the truth. It's not the truth at all. You are so phenomenally supported, and so much is being tipped in your favor, so that this dissolution, this dissolving of the trappings that hooked you into the false matrix can occur. The unseating from the world that you once lived in, and when I say world, I don't mean planet, I mean the reality of the false matrix. The unseating of that unsettles everything you think you know, and that's a process that you go through and you're going through right now. When you are in conflict with your higher truth, so that means higher truth comes in and is met by the lower density in the body. And by the way, you didn't fail. You didn't do anything wrong to have lower density in you. You succeeded because that's exactly what it took to participate in the false matrix. So very successfully, we all achieved that. We all managed to embody density. And do you know what that means? If you can embody density, you can embody light. So when people say, I don't get this embodiment thing, trust me, it's natural. You're doing it already. You're just doing the lower density version. So we're switching now into embodying at higher frequencies. But nonetheless, when we've got this cosmic light coming in, and it's triggering higher frequency in the body, it's triggering truth in the body, in the planetary body as well as the physical body, it discharges density. And that discharging of density is what we call an ascension symptom. It's what happens when we've got this untruth or this illusion within ourselves that is so convinced it's right, so convinced of what it knows, so convinced of its identity as insecurity, as inadequacy, as pain, as not good enoughness. We've got some entrenched programs that we are so loyal to. When that deeply embedded stuff meets higher truth, that discrepancy between the two frequencies, think of it like a tug of war. That's what an ascension symptom is. So we've had very emotional ascension symptoms, but now they're way more physical. And the reason why is because we're getting into the real juice of it all. We're getting into the real crux of it all. Yeah, you're still going to experience emotional upheaval. You still might experience ascension symptoms, so to speak, at the emotional level, at the energetic level. I'm not ruling that out. What I'm saying is it's gotten very physical now. And how that manifests is, oh, I got a pain in my neck and I don't know where it's from, for example. I never get headaches. Suddenly I got a headache, for example. My blood pressure is doing strange things, my whatever it is, right? There's too many to list, too many to even list. But stiffness in the joints, anything skeletal, is quite common. And the reason why is because the skeleton is the densest part of the body. So it holds a lot of the old programming. Do you see that that is what's being shaken up and shaken loose? It's the old programming that your brain can't remember. See, when you've got an emotion that comes up, there's normally a story connected to the emotion. So you normally go, oh yeah, there's that old whatever it is for you. There's that old poverty consciousness, oh, can't get rid of it. Or there's that old mother issue, oh, can't get rid of it. So you have a familiar storyline with emotions because you want to understand what you feel. That, by the way, hinders release, hinders healing, hinders growth. That's why I always teach people not to analyze, but instead to feel and let go, feel and release. The body is so equipped to do that though. Because what's going on right now is you're being flooded by light, so exponential at the moment, exponentially bigger, greater, faster than ever before, that the brain cannot keep up. Therefore, the brain can't run a story through this. All you can do is go, for example, oh my God, I got a pain in my neck. I don't have neck problems. Where did that just come from? Or I resolved this. Why is it back again? So it's kind of this out of the blue body thing going on. And that is exactly where we are right now. The body is doing the release work. And I'm so grateful that that's the truth, because that is where ascension needs to happen. So you understand now what an ascension symptom is. It's the two frequencies, the truth and the illusion, the old matrix, the true matrix, those two frequencies meeting. The discrepancy between the two sets off this charge of energy, and it's normally the resistance, the fight of the ego that wants to preserve the old. It is normally that creates that thing that we call ascension symptoms. So you're not wrong for having them. You're not bad for having them. If you drop judgment and get into acceptance, you're going to make the path ahead of you so much smoother. There are so many things that you can do to help yourself. There are so many things that you can do to work through what you're feeling right now. Number one is drop that judgment, get into acceptance. Number two is connect with yourself. I know I'm a broken record, but do it. And once you've done it, don't think you've arrived. I hear people say, I've connected with myself, it did nothing. I did it once and I'm still the same. No, connection to self is an everyday devotion. It's the most thrilling, glorious relationship. And every day it gets bigger, unfolds more. You go deeper. It's truly an enthralling, exhilarating journey of growth. And it's kind of like, oh my gosh, the thing I was missing all along was me. And it's the meeting of the craving as you step into connection. There are so many meditations on my website that are exactly there to support you. My online community is exactly and precisely there to support you. That's where you're going to get the most growth and leadership into the true self. Because it's at this point that a lot of people say, well, I'm confused, Kerry, because you always say, and I do, that I, the individual, am here to ascend myself, evolve myself. So why would I need a teacher? 100% true. You are the only one that can walk your journey into truth. I lead you. And that's what any good spiritual teacher will do. They will lead you. They will lead you into your truth. Kind of like shining a light on that path, because for eons, the ego has been the false voice going, come this way, I'm your voice of healing. No, you're not. That's what the ego is, the ultimate trickster. There are so many entities connected to the ego that the ego has learned the way of entities, which is to trick you into being the voice of healing. I'm healing myself. The ego will tell you all the things that you are not and lead you exactly back to the false matrix, because then it can preserve itself. The ego only wants to stay alive. It doesn't understand that it's going to transform, and the transformation is the ultimate expression of your higher truth. So it cannot grasp that. All it can grasp from its confusion and delusion, because remember, that's the part of you plugged into the false matrix. All it can grasp is, I'm going to die. If this body ascends, there's no more ego, and that's the end of me, which to a level is 100% true. So I just want to recap on something that I spoke about regarding the body. I said to you, the body was part of the hijacked system. Once you have consciously plugged into the organic matrix again, that divine template that is your higher truth, then you relieve that hijacking and you release the soul back to the monadic structure. In other words, back to the oversoul that it is a part of and that it belongs to. People ask me all the time, what diet must I follow? What must I eat? You know, when you listen to yourself and you learn to listen to yourself, you will eat what your body craves. And then you become what I call an intuitarian. And you might intuitively want to go and explore a new kind of eating, a new kind of diet, something very different from what you've been experiencing, or any judgmental preconceptions you had before that said, well, in order to ascend, I must be vegan. In order to ascend, I must have this diet. There is no ascension diet. There is, how deeply are you able to connect to your truth and act thereupon? And how discerning can you be that you will hear the ego's voice telling you, I'm your truth? But no, you're not. You're the trickster of the ego. See, that's where the guidance comes in. Because you're walking a pathway that you think is one straight path, but is almost meant to be so many confusions, because that's where the false matrix held you hostage in all of that confusion for so long. So once you have that floodlight highlighting the pathway into your truth, then you can walk it. And that's what it takes for you to overcome these very physical ascension symptoms. You're going to learn to be with them. You're going to learn to connect with them. You're going to learn to not crave a quick fix. You're going to learn patience. That every day that you connect with pain, if you have pain, for example, that every day that you connect with it, you're alleviating something. It might be an emotional longing. It might be an energetic longing. And you know, we're so results orientated. All we crave is, I want the symptoms to be gone, without realizing sometimes connecting to the symptom and being present in it is the healing. And thereafter, relief can happen. But sometimes we become almost too goal orientated for our own good. So we've got so many things to discover about living in harmony. So many things to discover about living in harmony with ourselves. And it's going to take some harsh and stark truths that we're going to get to confront about the false matrix. Harsh truths are okay. You're not only going to survive harsh truths, you're going to thrive because you let yourself see them. And it's when you see those harsh truths that you can feel the relief and go, man, now I've got my power back. Because now I know where I was lost, where I was deluded or where I was confused. And now I can move forward again. Right? So lots of love to each and every single one of you. I'm going to leave a video up here on Ascension symptoms that I think will help you understand it just a little bit deeper, a little bit more. Lots of love, everyone, and bye-bye for now.